Welcome to EduRev. Today, we're going to tackle one of the most feared parts of the UCAT Decision Making section, and that is probability. But look, we're not just aiming to solve these questions, oh no. We're going to absolutely master them, even when that clock is screaming at you.
30 seconds. Yeah, you heard that right. That is all the time you get for each and every question. It sounds pretty intense, doesn't it? And you know what? It is. But my goal today is to give you a framework, a system, that's going to make this 30-second challenge feel not just manageable, but almost second nature.
So I want you to imagine you're in the exam right now. You flip to a new question, and it just looks like this jumble of words and numbers. The clock is ticking down, tick, tock. What's your move? The secret really is having a solid plan before you even start, and that is exactly what we're going to build together today.
All right, let's dive into our first section. I'm going to show you the basic anatomy of these questions, because once you see the pattern, trust me, they start to seem a lot less scary.
Every single probability question you'll face follows this same basic format. You'll get a bit of text with some numbers, a direct yes-no question, and then 4 possible answers. That's it. Understanding this structure is key because it helps you zero in on the information you actually need and ignore the rest.
So, now that you know what these questions look like, let's start building your toolkit. Think of these as the essential skills you're going to need to solve these problems with both speed and, just as importantly, accuracy.
First up, the foundation of everything, the probability formula. It's actually really simple. It's just the number of ways an event can happen divided by the total number of possible outcomes. Every single calculation we do today will be built on this one powerful idea. Next up is the total probability rule. This is another straightforward concept. The probabilities of all the possible things that could happen have to add up to 1, or 100%. This is a fantastic way to quickly check your work and just make sure you're on the right track. It's like a little safety net.
Now this one is a game changer. The complement rule. This is your secret weapon for speed. If a question ever asks for the probability of at least one of something happening, it is almost always faster to figure out the probability of it not happening at all and then just subtract that from 1. Seriously, this trick will save you so many precious seconds.
And finally, in our toolkit, you need to be a pro at conversions. The UCAT loves to present answers in different formats to test you, so being able to effortlessly switch between fractions, decimals, and percentages, well, it's absolutely crucial for making fast and accurate comparisons. Okay, you've got your toolkit. Now it's time to put it to work. In this section, we're going to practice using these tools in the most common scenarios you'll see on the test. Think of it like a dress rehearsal before the big show.
You're often going to face questions with more than one thing happening. The very first thing you need to ask yourself is, are these events independent or dependent? You know, if you roll a die twice, those events are independent. You just multiply the probabilities. But if you're pulling marbles out of a bag without putting them back, the events are dependent. And the crucial point here is to remember to update your fraction, your total, after each step. Don't forget that.
Sometimes the data you need won't be in a paragraph. It'll be in a table or a chart. Don't let that throw you. I've got a super simple 3-step process for this. Extract the numbers you need, sum the totals for the right rows or columns, and then apply the probability formula. It's that easy. Extract, sum, apply.
Here's a perfect example. Let's say a question asks for the probability of choosing something from row 1. Your first step is to add up everything in that row. Bam, that's your number of favorable outcomes. Then you add up everything in the whole table to get your total outcomes. Extract, sum, apply. See? This simple process will keep you on track and help you avoid silly mistakes.
And be ready for a twist. Some questions that look like they're about probability are actually logic puzzles in disguise. They require you to read carefully, not just crunch numbers. The biggest mistake you can make here is jumping into calculations too soon. Always read the question carefully and ask yourself, wait a minute, do I even need my calculator for this?
Look, knowing the right approach is only half the battle. You also have to know how to avoid the common pitfalls. So in this next section, we'll look at the most common traps that students fall into so you can sidestep them with confidence. I want you to memorize this checklist. Seriously, before you choose your final answer, just run through these questions in your head. Is my denominator correct? Am I answering the question they actually asked? Did I use the complement rule right? And hey, is my answer a valid probability between 0 and 1? This quick mental check can save you from so many simple errors. Whew, okay, we've covered a lot of ground, right? We've talked about the challenge, the tools, the different scenarios, and the traps. Now let's bring it all together into a winning game plan for test day.
This is it. This is your process for every single probability question. Read the question first to know what you're looking for. Ignore the distracting numbers. Use your shortcuts like the complement rule. And always run that pre-answer checklist. And for tables and charts, what is it? Extract, sum, apply. This right here is your path to 30-second success.
All right, let's do a super quick recap of everything we just covered on probability. We started by really understanding that 30-second challenge. Then we built our toolkit with all those essential formulas and rules. We practiced using that toolkit in common scenarios, and finally, we created that mental checklist to help you avoid those common mistakes.
I want to leave you with this final thought. Performing well under pressure isn't some kind of magic, it's all about preparation. You now have a solid plan to tackle these questions. So go into that exam with the confidence that comes from knowing you're truly prepared.
So having a plan is a fantastic start, but you've got to be able to execute it when it counts. The only way, and I mean the only way, to get faster and more accurate is through practice. If you're ready to take your UCAT preparation to the next level, we're right here to help at EduRev. For thousands of practice questions, detailed lessons, and full mock tests that feel just like the real thing, go ahead and download the EduRev app. It's available right now on both the Google Play Store and the iOS App Store. Thanks so much for joining me today, and I'll see you in the next session.